Hey everybody, welcome back to Food.Cook.Share. It's a new year and I think we need a palate cleanser. I happen to have a recipe for a simple yet delightfully tart baked lemon pudding. It's the perfect thing for after the holidays. Let's do it. Okay, let's get into it. The ingredients for baked lemon pudding are 1 lemon, juiced and zested, 3/4 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of butter, 2 eggs separated, 1 cup of milk, or light cream if you want it more rich, and 3 tablespoons of flour. The tools that you will need are a hand whisk or electric mixer, 2 mixing bowls, small and medium sized, a scraping spatula, a microplane or small tooth grater, a reamer or other means of juicing citrus, and a small knife. Yes, that's my small knife. Let's start by preheating the oven to 350 Fahrenheit, 176 Celsius. Lemon is our dominant flavor, so always zest before you juice, otherwise you'll be kicking yourself. It would be easier to shave a deflated balloon than it would be to zest a juiced lemon. This batch of lemons was very soft and juicy, so it took a while to get all of the zest off, but I got it. If you are using a microplane, tapping it on the bowl gets a lot of the zest off. But remembering to wipe the back channel, you can get even more of that lemony goodness. It gets trapped on the back side of the teeth, so by wiping it off, you get more flavor in the bowl. Now, cut the lemons in half and juice each section. You can ream the juice into a strainer if you like, but the pulp adds flavor and texture to the sauce. It's not hard to pull out the seeds with a fork, so choose what's best for you. It's your pudding. The segment membranes are stringy, so pull them out if they escape. They were some tender lemons. We add the sugar to the juice and zest. Now, barely soft butter. I know what you're thinking. He's mad. But it's fine. This is such a forgiving recipe that even a no-no, like adding unmelted butter to wet sugar, won't affect the finished dessert. This will work. Trust me. Simply take a sturdy fork and break up the butter. Now a bit of a whisk and onto the eggs. Now we separate the eggs. The yolks go in with the lemon mixture, and the whites go into the small bowl for whipping. There are 2 simple methods of separating eggs that I use. Always crack the middle of the egg on a flat surface, then use the egg shells to pass the yolk back and forth until the whites fall away. The second way is the same as the first, except I pass the yolk between my fingers. This way, it's easier to control the yolk. There's no sharp edges to snag it on, so my success rate is better. It's a little messy, but good cooking always is. With a clean whisk, we beat the whites to stiff peaks. It takes a bit of effort, but for this amount, in a small bowl, it's not really that much work. Besides, it's important to get a sense of how something like egg whites react so that we can get the right consistency for the final product. Stiff peaks. Perfect. Let's not forget the kettle, might need that later. Now, in a medium-sized bowl, we have the base of the batter, the lemon mixture and the egg yolk, so let's whisk that to combine. It looks a little loose, but we're not done yet. It needs some flour to give it structure. In. Finally, the milk to give it body. You can use any kind of milk all the way up to a light cream, which will make this a much richer dish. Finally, fold in the beaten egg whites. If you feel confident in your folding skills, use the whisk. Use the same folding action as the spatula, but the whisk breaks up the whites to expose it more effectively to the batter. Just don't beat the mixture, otherwise it will deflate instead. Now scrape down the sides of your bowl and pour the batter into your casserole dish. This step is optional. But if you want to have a more blonde pudding, use a water bath. Oh, kettle's done. Yoink. Fill the pan about 1/3 the way up the side of your casserole dish. The water will keep the humidity high and the heat more even, so browning will be slower on the top and sides. If you don't mind a brown top on your pud, skip it. There, our pudding is all ready, so carefully place the whole thing in our preheated oven and bake for 30 minutes. Okay, let's see how we did. It is blonde on the right side, but I did let the rest of it brown a bit just to give a bit of a contrast. Let's get the pudding out of the water bath without serious injury, and we will let it sit for about 10 minutes for it to cool and set up. Okay, it's been about a minute and a half, but my mouth is salivating so bad I just gotta dig in. So, get yourself a nice big portion. Portion, yes, of course, portion. Maybe we'll go with a portion instead. Don't forget the sauce. Just ladle that right over top. It is absolutely amazing. And then admire your work. As you can see, it's very light and fluffy. Looks like a soufflé. So let's dig in. Get a good spoonful and let's see how we did. This is tart lemon, fluffy, creamy sponge, melts in your mouth. If there's one dessert you make this year, it has to be baked lemon pudding. Have an amazing 2021, everybody. Stay safe. Cheers. And that's how you start your year off right.